1-0 the count to Ryan Spilborghs. Certainly glad to have you spending your evening with us. Trust your day was a good one. Pitch dives low, cut fastball there. See the numbers for Dan Haren. Hard to argue with what he did last year, Gracie.
Well, he's also such a perfectionist. He's thrown 2 pitches. He's already disgusted with himself out on the mound.
Southern California native comes right down the heart of the plate on 2-0. And it's fouled back by Spilborghs. Ryan Spilborghs yesterday 1 for 4 with a double, a strikeout, a run scored. See what he did last season, and he has finally earned himself a starting spot. That's that cut fastball, just a little bit of a wrinkle in it, correct?
And you know, Darren, we're seeing more and more of them. That's a pitch that slowly but surely he's really starting to believe in, that being Dan Haren. We didn't see that at all in the first half of last year. Then he started to break it out here and there. Now we're seeing a lot of it.
See that knuckle up, and he has it driven deep left center field. Off the Geico sign in the base of the wall. Slipping for just a moment is Connor, but not enough to allow him to advance. That throw might, as it trickles on by a couple of Diamondbacks defensively. We saw the knuckle up, but then he adjusted the grip. It would have been a curveball if he would have stayed with that grip. This was a fastball.
I thought it was a split finger that he just went down, and you see he's a little out in front there, but he still was able to keep the hands back and drill it into the left center gap. Keep your feet there, Connor. Whoop. Okay, get it back in. And this team can score some runs, they being the Colorado Rockies.
We certainly saw yesterday, didn't we? A 9-8 final on opening day. You know the one where Brandon Webb goes head-to-head with Aaron Cook, 2 of the dominating ground ball pitchers in the game. And really over the last 5 decades, big-time ground ball pitchers. Seth Smith, there's a good split-fingered fastball.
Going back to yesterday, 8 homers later, the 2 sinker ballers just weren't around for very long. But I think Dan Haren, I think he's one of those guys, he takes it personal. You know what? My partner and buddy got hit around a little bit. I'm going to take care of business here tonight.
Fastball in, he was ready for it. He drives it to right field to the corner. It goes, it's foul. A foul ball. And let's finish the Rockies starting lineup. We told you about Spilborghs, you see Smith, and then Helton. Behind that, it's Garrett Atkins, Brad Hoff, who had a big day yesterday, Troy Tulowitzki, Chris Iannetta, Clint Barmas, and Ubaldo Jimenez. A wild and crazy day yesterday. You know, you talk about Haren taking it personally and taking up for his buddy. And really, the word buddy applies. Is that one a splitter? Nice job blocking it up by Miguel Montero. Much has been made this spring, and deservedly so. We saw it a lot last year about 2 totally different guys, personality-wise, the way they go about their business, talking about Webb and Haren. Very good friends, fast friends last year, and they do have one another's back. 1-2 the count. Another splitter. A big test here for Miguel Montero tonight. We'll keep our eye on him. I mean, he is a guy that maybe wouldn't have always gotten this assignment in the past. His bat has earned him this assignment.
Well, the Diamondback decision makers have decided they'd like to see Miguel Montero, especially that left-handed bat of his, in there a little more often. Nothing against Chris Snyder. Chris Snyder is doing a terrific job behind the plate. They just want to give Miguel a few more looks.
Fastball and a good one, well placed, and Smith goes down on strikes.
After a couple splitters in the dirt, blocked nicely by Montero. Okay, enough. I'm going to go to the fastball. Well, that thing really ran out of the strike zone and right by Seth Smith.
Chris Snyder certainly can catch and he can hit. He has become an all-star caliber catcher, as you talked about yesterday. And the juggling Bob Melvin has to do will be a challenge all the way through the playoffs, they hope. Breaking ball swings right over the top of that one. Now that looks like a slider because it's not huge and it's not slower as a curveball may be, but it's a curveball.
He throws it very hard, and that was one of his best.
Number 17 on his back as he grips that split-fingered fastball, but then can adjust at any time. Gracie, he started that pitch, it looked like right in the happy zone for a left-handed hitter, correct?
Yeah, he started it right down the middle, really, and then Todd Helton's thinking, oh, this thing's going to come down to my zone, down and in. Well, it went way down and way in. Helton was right over the top of it.
4 home runs this spring. Fastball, and it stays up and in. 1-1 the count, and he hit over 500 this spring as well. A home run in his career against Haren. Remember last year the back problems that plagued Helton. After July the 4th, he had plenty of time to autograph cards because he only played in 2 games after the 4th of July.
Wow. He's just such a fixture there in Colorado at first base.
It's the corner. 1-2.
What a thing of beauty that was. The fastball right to the outside corner. Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, right there with it. Brian O'Nora was an umpire in the minor leagues in A-ball where I was, Darren.
Really?
Yeah, we were in the same league together. That would have been the Midwest League in single A ball.
Helton just protecting with that fastball, diving down and away. A quick look at the Diamondbacks defense for a pitcher, certainly more of a ground ball pitcher than a fly ball pitcher. But Connor has already been busy. It's Young and Upton on the infield. Mark Reynolds back in there. Drew Lopez and Tracy. Tracy, a big day yesterday. We've already spoken of the battery mates, Dan Haren and Miguel Montero. Justin back out there. Mark Reynolds at third base. 1-2. Breaking ball again. 2-2 the count. Noticed was served yesterday when that lineup was posted on the board. Now, because it was a 12:40 game, it was posted at about 8:30 in the morning. That don't take anything for granted this season. I mean, there are certain guys that will play every day and certain guys that won't.
One thing I learned a long time ago: you never take anything for granted in this game, ever.
Hands a rocket shot foul. 91 miles an hour with a fastball.
Perfectly placed on the inside corner. If Helton's going to hit that ball in the barrel, it's going to be foul.
You know what? And watching him, most of the time he hits the ball in the barrel.
Yeah, he doesn't break many bats.
Oh, folks, what a career. He's 42 hits shy of 2,000, 29 doubles shy of 500. And the man sitting next to me on my right can speak of 500 doubles and how special that is. 2-2. Fastball broke his bat. He did get it in on the hands. Oh, my. Gracie, walk us through here pitch by pitch. What a sequence.
Boy, anytime you get a superstar against an all-star, you're going to get a heck of a battle. Start with a beautiful curveball over the top. He's going to try to stay in on his belly button a little bit. Curveball. Now the fastball in. Pulls it foul. Fastball right back in there. And we talk about it with Dan Haren all the time, Darren. He's a guy that actually likes to double up. He likes to go fastball. And you know what? Now he's looking split. No, I'm going to throw another fastball in. Well, he got him. He won the battle.
Now a bouncing ball. This is Mark Reynolds, who is left and in time for the out. A leadoff double goes nowhere. Is Dan Haren. The starting lineup for Bob Melvin has some work to do against a man who won 12 games last year. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, I should say. It's Lopez, it's Young, and it's Drew. It's Tracy, Jackson, Montero, then Mark Reynolds, Justin Upton. The tough assignment of batting eighth, and then Dan Haren. Ubaldo Jimenez, 25 years old, out of Nagua in the Dominican Republic. Nearly 200 innings last year. And a bright future ahead of him.
Very bright future. You're going to see some good old fastballs here. I mean, gas. Just getting warmed up at 92 there, Darren.
We talked about it coming on the air, showed you the graphic, the average fastball of just under 95 miles an hour, according to Fangraphs.com. And, well, I tell you, when your average fastball, Gracie, is 94.9 average, oh,
that's bringing it.
That's a starting pitcher. That's not a closer.
And it's really not a 100% maximum effort fastball either. He's under control, I would say. He's got a little herky jerk to him, but he's under control.
Felipe bounces that one foul, and now we talk about the day and the spring training as well of Felipe Lopez. He hit 340 down in Tucson this spring, and then he carried all of his hits with him in his trunk, because yesterday a pair of home runs, one from each side of the plate, and a walk as well. What a debut with his skipper looking on. Got him out front there, changed up on it. To Nowitzki. And front of Smith, and it's too low to make the play for the out. Speaking of Tulowitzki anchoring that Rockies defense, let's take a look at how they line up. The outfield of Smith and Spilborghs and Brad Hall with a very good arm. Atkins, Tulowitzki, Farmas, Gold Glover, Todd Helton, and Chris Iannetta behind home plate working with Ubaldo Jimenez. He doesn't have four like you, my friend, but he's got a couple of Gold Gloves on that shelf that I know he's very proud of. Chris Young, boy, tight breaking ball. So he goes, with regard to pitches, he'll throw a harder slider, a slower curveball, change up, and the fastball.
Yeah, he's got four pitches. You really basically see the fastball and the slider. Just missed with that one at 96 miles an hour.
I mean, that's starting out at the knees and staying there.
Exactly. It doesn't have time to sink.
Boy, 97, 2-1 the count. And as you watch him, folks, listen to what Gracie was saying. He's not falling towards Helton at first. He's staying in control. And I think that's a great point by you.
Yeah, he's in control of his mechanics. There's a little funk there, but bam, gas. Very tardy was the swing there of Chris Young. And that's just no nonsense, Darren. Let's just play baseball.
98, he went 96, 97, and 98 miles an hour. And Young, who was 1 for 5 with a double yesterday, goes down on strikes.
Shortstop number 6, Steven
Just right to the outside corner. Very impressive.
25 years old, as we mentioned, out of Nagua. Very, very close with his father. As a matter of fact, when he pitched for the Dominican Republic, some dominating performances, as that is why, to Stephen Drew. As the coaching continues with Rick Shue. Jimenez opted, when some guys brought assistants or representatives or someone to help him, he brought his dad.
Really?
That's who he opted to bring and allow the one locker room pass so his dad could experience it with him.
That's kind of cool.
You bet. The other way, and he'll take it. The bat, it's no longer useful. Stephen Drew hustles, takes a huge turn, and stays right there. He was just 2 for 11 in his career before that single. Broken bat single by Stevens.
He doesn't even know where this ball goes. He just knows his bat splits. Where to get? What? Hey! Where is it? It just got to the outfield. Doesn't have to be pretty, Darren.
No. And that's his first hit of the 2009 season. I would imagine many more to follow.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to go hitless this year.
I was hoping. I was thinking about that driving home yesterday. Here's Chad Tracy. That one dives down and out of the zone. Chad 3 for 4 yesterday, a home run and a couple of RBIs, and you watched him take batting practice. What did you see?
Yeah, I went and spent some time down there this morning because I am a front runner. So I went and talked to him for a little bit, and he just kept reiterating how healthy he feels, and because of that, he's a more confident ball player. And I asked him a little bit about the home run, and talking about Jason Grilli, the hard-throwing right-hander that he hit the home run off. He was kind of surprised that Grilli threw him a slider in that situation, something late in the game that he can pull and get it out of the ballpark.
Good numbers against Jimenez. You can see he is in Chad's book. He is homered against him. But as you mentioned, it was a slider that he got. Ionetta's calling for a fastball here on 2-0. Slider, and he put it into the seats, so no doubter. Infield maybe a step to pull is all, and the outfield is straight up. Tulowitzki an extra step to that bag. Changeup. 2-1 the count. Good pitch.
Well, Tracy thought it might have slipped a little bit outside, but man, you can execute a changeup at the knees on the outside corner 2-0. You're taking a lot of the fun out of it for the hitters.
Now, the other side of his game, and we haven't seen it so far, is that he can be wild. You mentioned that in the open. He can lose it. His last spring outing, totally and completely lost it as he fires it. Last year, he had 103 walks. You get over 100, that's an alarming rate.
Yeah, that's too many.
Honestly, if you get over 100 and have an ERA that stays in the threes, you're some kind of special.
Well, you're not giving up many hits. Yeah, you're giving up base runners, but they ain't on hits.
2-1 the count. We keep an eye on Drew. So does Jimenez. And this is the home run you're talking about, Gracie, yesterday.
The slider down and in. Something a left-hander can pull out of the ballpark. And boy, did he ever.
Chad last year was only able to start 65 games at first. Just 2 games at third. He started at third yesterday. It needs to be pointed out. Did just fine. Another changeup. And now that one, because of his arm speed, almost acted like a split-fingered fastball.
That's exactly right. That reminds you of the Dan Haren split finger. That's a changeup. Boy, now you see it. Now you don't. That'll make you scratch your noggin a little bit there, Darren.
All right, now what? And that's why he's scratching his noggin.
Exactly. You've just really gotten to a hitter doing that.
Another one.
Why not?
Another one and a dandy. Now the Rockies strand a base runner, as do the Diamondbacks, and right away we see the dominating stuff, even the soft stuff of Jimenez. By the top 3 Power Chevy dealers in the Valley. Power Arrowhead, Brown & Brown, and Power Chevy, Superstition Springs, and Bach. Triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Back of the ball yard as we take a stroll with you into your living room. Thanks for hosting us tonight. And Brad Hawp leads it off. And he sees a good looking curveball that drops in there for strike one. By the way, unfortunately, due to a late schedule change, tonight's game is not available in high definition as originally planned. We apologize for the inconvenience. Next HD telecast is That One Is High when the D-backs take on the Rockies tomorrow at 12:30. Fox Sports Arizona is offering 141 D-backs games in HD this season. Strike two.
A couple of curve balls right on the button there from Haren. Brad Hawp, big day yesterday.
3 for 4, a couple of doubles, 3 RBIs. Fastball, and it's a ground ball. Tracy, in between a bit, decided to go back to the bag because they were really shifting to pull Lopez 2 steps onto the outfield grass. Well, Mark Grace, our power Chevy, key to the game. Mix and match, and I'll need you to explain this one to me, please.
Well, I'm gonna assume, since you came up with this today, I would imagine it's probably something to do with Bob Melvin's lineup. Kind of a mixed bag, oleo, if you will.
Oh my goodness, well done.
You know, out is Tony Clark. Out is Eric Burns, 2 guys that started yesterday in the win. Chad Tracy's moved over to first base, and Mark Reynolds is going to get a look over at third base tonight. He's already made a play. Mark Reynolds saying, yeah, thanks. This guy throws 98.
In the kitchen of Tulowitzki. Reynolds going to work. Oh, he ran out of room. Mark Reynolds a moment ago making a throw, and Gracie, you made a very valid point about what this throw looks like and how it ties into this spring.
Who'd that remind you of a little bit?
Yeah.
That would be Matt Williams.
Look at this.
And guess why? Because Matt Williams has been with this kid all spring long, taking ground ball after ground ball, working with him.
Tulowitzki grounds it to short. That's Stephen Drew, and Tulo heads back to the dugout. It started in February, didn't it? Williams and Reynolds, the duo.
Every day, Matt Williams and Mark Reynolds were out there at about 8:30 every morning. Ground ball, work on his throwing, helping him mostly with his footwork and his balance. That's where you usually get beat. When you make errors, Darren, it's usually your feet. You're not moving your feet correctly. It has nothing to do with your hands. It's your feet that get you out of position that causes you to boot the ball. That's what Matt Williams had some of the best feet I've ever seen for a third baseman. And that's what he's been working with a lot of these guys, is their footwork and getting their feet underneath them. Almost like you on the dance floor, Darren. It's just so smooth, and your footwork is just
right. I need some help from Matt Williams working with my feet. You know better than that. My wife knows much better than that, as that one is high. 2-1 the count.
But even as an infielder, you're always moving your feet. You're always anticipating. Even when the ball's not hit, you're moving your feet. You're always on your toes, and that's what Matt has been teaching. Don't be flat-footed.
Hanging breaking ball belted towards center field. Chris Young. He's got room. And his feet will take him right back into the dugout. Those feet, they'll be rounding the bases. bases, which brings us to our interactive question of the evening. Please text in your vote to 74999. Which D-back will hit the most home runs? A, Drew, B, Reynolds, C, Upton, D, Young.
What's your answer?
I've already texted in B, Reynolds.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think Reynolds, if he gets the same amount of at bats, I think Mark Reynolds will hit the most. He'll lead the league. He'll lead the team in homers again this year. He did last year. I think he will again this year.
Hit 28 last year, drove in 97 as Connor takes a hard breaking ball that dives down and away. Connor 1 for 4 with the runs scored yesterday. Hit the same thing in the first half of the season before the break that he did after. Had his slugging percentage drop a little bit. But hit 300 and hit 300. And this is a good reason why. Really is comfortable in his own skin as a hitter these days.
For my money, Darren, he's one of those guys, and it's rare in baseball. He's one of those guys that can hit the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He can hit aces, and he can hit closers.
And that's a big measuring stick for you.
Darren, this offensively, you don't make your money on aces and closers. They're going to beat you many more times than not. But Connor Jackson, he's one of those guys. I'll bet you, and we'll have some fun, and we'll look it up over the course of the year. Just kind of talk about Connor Jackson, his matchups with guys like Jake Peavy, and we'll think of some, Carlos Zambrano, guys like that. Maybe a Johan Santana. Gas.
Buried that fastball in. 1 hit in 7 at bats for Miguel Montero in his career against Jimenez, and it left the ballpark.
Well, if he's going to swing that hard, he better hope that Ubaldo Jimenez is going to throw off speed, because if you get long against a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and swing too hard, you're going to do just that. It's going to be biting. There's a thing we like to say in this game, Darren. Just put a short, crisp swing on it. Let the pitcher, a guy throwing that hard, let him supply the power. You just meet the ball, and it'll go.
45 starts this season, or last season, I should say, as the changeup misses low. 2-2 the count. That's the first changeup he's thrown that has had any movement towards a left-handed hitter. They have been consistently diving down and away. Still a good pitch, though. I mean, down there in the dirt, that's a fine spot for that one. Oh my, breaking ball over the outside corner. As we walk up Mark Reynolds, we bring in Todd Walsh with a thought. Todd, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, I'm sure you hammered this home during the course of the spring, but the one thing that I'll be looking at with Mark Reynolds is don't let one thing lead to another in the negative sense. You make an error in the field, don't turn around and come back with 2 strikeouts, or vice versa. I know that's the one thing that Bob Melvin was monitoring throughout the course of spring training as well. The mental side of the game. Don't let it bury you.
Well, this game can get, if you allow it, this game can really be cruel and rough.
Well, that's something I think, and you can speak to this. I mean, Matty was a guy, and you guys both, you covered him, you played with him, who could grind himself, but all that he's been through now is he can look back. I'm sure he can offer good advice psychologically.
Oh, absolutely.
In on the hands there, really into his kitchen, but he's running hard, and because of it, he's got an infield hit.
Tulowitzki has one of the best arms in all of baseball. He almost made the play of a lifetime right there. Only Mark Reynolds' good speed allows him to be safe.
Number 10, Justin Upton.
I mean, he ended up near the stands after he threw this ball. He almost got Mark Reynolds. That's a lot closer than we were anticipating, wouldn't you say, Darren?
It is, and here's Troy Tulowitzki, who was injured the quad, the hand last year. Disappointing year offensively. He'd tell you defensively. This is a young man, his first full season. In 834 total chances, he made only 11 errors. Best in the big leagues, better than Omar Vizquel. Justin Upton now has a chance to drive in a couple of runs. He has faced Jimenez, but 5 times, as Connor is in scoring position with Reynolds behind him. In those 5 at-bats, he's hitless with 3 strikeouts. Tough assignment here for a young right-handed hitter. Change-up to start him off. 1-0 the count. Coming up later on this month, it's Justin Upton bobblehead, and when you get that bobblehead when you come to the game, see that bat wrapped around pretty good. A little bit less wrap. He has made some changes.
I don't know, if you ask me, that thing looks pretty wrapped.
I understand. And the one big difference when you talk to Rick Shue, it's a little closer to his body. And as Shue says, it's very close to his load. When he traditionally loads, it's almost right there. So he's not far off from that.
It's just a long way for the bat to have to travel when you got it wrapped, almost pointing the barrel of the bat right at the pitcher.
Changeup, 2 changeups and a fastball. Hitting 8th, isn't it fun? Get all kinds of unique pitches. Although the man on deck can hit for a pitcher in Dan Haren. Two and 1 the count. Though hitting 8th with runners on first and second's pretty different. You're not going to nibble around you too much. The 2-1 to Justin. Fastball in the black.
Well, you can see he might have been looking for a change. That's the thing about hitting 8th. If you're up there guessing what you're asking for, just go up there and look for your pitch. Now that was right on the outside corner. That's a beautiful pitch right there by Jimenez. But don't guess. Just get up there and trust your talent. And in this kid, number 10, there is a boatload of talent.
Again, he's trying to get inside of the heads of these hitters. Base runners ready. Fastball, he lays off. 3-2.
Well, do you send the runners here, Darren?
Oh boy, the only fear obviously is the strikeout, and that's a big part of Justin's game.
That's why you don't right here. In case of a strikeout, if you get a strikeout out, throw him out, that means Haren will be leading off the next inning. So I'd be very shocked if Bob Melvin spins the wheels here.
And Mark Reynolds, good athlete, good base runner. If something gets in the gap, he'll score anyway. Let's watch though together. 21 years young, Justin Upton. Runners don't go. It's fouled off and ouch. It got a piece there, Brian O'Nora.
Left a breaking ball in the inside part of the plate. Just able to get a slight piece of it. You saw how far that bat has to travel when you wrap it like that.
And I'm telling you, Gracie, you watched him in spring. That's still a lot closer than it was. He was more extended away from his body and almost pointing directly at the pitcher.
Watch this bat. That's a long way for this bat to have to travel.
Do an off-speed pitch.
But Rick Shue, a tireless worker with these guys, constantly working with them, helping them, improving them.
And a look back there from Jimenez. Once they get in the position to run, Jimenez can be had. 19 stolen bases against him last year, just 3 thrown out. But this isn't the time. Scoreless ball game, bottom of the second inning. A hit for the Rockies and 3 for the Diamondbacks. Runners stay put. Fastball, ball 4.
I guess. Yeah, Jimenez thought he had strike 3. He's not too pleased with that call. It might have been a shade down. See what you think here, folks. Looks like a pretty good pitch to me. I think the Diamondbacks got a bit of a break there, but they'll take it.
Well, that's tough. Connor Jackson, Mark Reynolds, and Justin Upton load up the pitch. Wow, what a pitch that was. Load him up with 1 out.
That's when you just take it and say, please call it a ball.
Low, 1-0 the count.
Dan Haren has been hitterish. A guy that spent some time as a designated hitter at Pepperdine University as a collegiate.
Had 16 hits, 7 of them doubles last year. Drove in 6. Bouncing ball right side. Did he just get out of it? Yes, he did. 4-6-3 double play. Personally, Gracie and I prefer the fire sauce. And what we're talking about is that any time the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between the 4 and 6 p.m. hours the following day. Tacos were given away today, by the way, for yesterday's game. So if it happens and you're watching, just come in, you talk about the 6 runs, you buy the large drink.
Buy the large drink.
I mean, call your friends.
I like the fire sauce, too. You?
I love the fire sauce. And again, this isn't, Gracie, one of those you have to have a ticket promotions. They score 6 runs.
Period.
You're planted in your living room the next day. You're in.
Between 4 and 6 p.m.
Between 4 and 6.
That's kind of dinner time for me.
I was hoping they'd do it between midnight and 2 a.m. on our way home.
Now, that's our San Francisco trips.
I want to remind everyone to take advantage of Diamondback Suites for a limited time. Certainly a lot of good stuff going on. And we remind you, purchase a luxury suite and get $500 off, including a food and drink package. Suite rentals include free usage of a Chase Field meeting space, kind of a have a meeting, go to a ball game kind of day. 602-462-4600 or visit dbacks.com. Cut fastball, not a breaking ball, cut fastball for strike 1 to Clint Barmas. Just a little run. So he throws a curveball that looks like a slider and a fastball that looks like a slider. You got all that, folks? That's the curveball. 0-2 to Clint Barmas. Indiana State University. Here's the curveball.
Wow. Clint Barmas is a pretty good hitter, but he missed that ball by a good 10 feet.
1 for 12 in his career against Haren. And for Reynolds, instead Drew behind, firing, not in time. Well, we had a great effort by Troy Tulowitzki in the last frame. Stephen Drew tried to match him, couldn't get him.
Barmas runs very well, and he needed to there. Nice play by Drew. Just not quick enough. Deep in the hole again. Stephen comes up with it.
Ubaldo Jimenez.
Ooh, boy.
Just ahead of the play. Tough to tell there. Fielding Colbert, the first base umpire. Safe, he says. Jimenez going to be called on to bunt now.
And he chops that one to the right side. 3 hits and 67 at bats last year. Hitting 045. Rich Dower, that's a good baseball man right there. Third base coach flashing all the signs. And Glenn Allen Hill over at first base, one of your old teammates.
Oh, man, one of my favorite old teammates.
First base coaching box. He's a good man. I ran into him at the end of his career when he finished up with the Angels, called some of his games. And I ran into him. He ran into a handful of baseballs, not many, but when he did, they never came back. Bunts that one, hugging the line, and that's a fair ball. They tag him out. Worked nicely, though. Barmas easily to second.
Montero didn't know if it was fair or foul. He picked it up. Brian O'Nora said, that's fair. So he just made the tag. Successful sacrifice.
Center fielder Ryan Spilborghs.
There he is. Pretty good bunt. That's one of those. It's not rolling hard enough to roll foul, so pick it up and make the tag.
So Miguel gets the sure out. Always get the sure out, you youngsters. Just off the plate to Ryan Spilborghs. Spilborghs in his last couple of seasons prior to this year as a part-time or a platoon player, 72 RBIs and 431 at bats. Right about a 300 career hitter.
Well, he just got sawed off by that fastball. That one had some teeth running inside on his hands. But runs in late and just eats him up.
One and one the count to Santa Barbara, California native. Hot fastball starts right in the outside corner and then darts away.
And they're both about the same velocity, Darren, or velo as you like to call it. And
yes, I do. It's funny you'd mention that.
Running in on the hands and then one going away from the end of the bat. Two great pitches at the same, velo.
Thought about picking, no defender there, and then he had the stumbling base runner heading back in Barmas.
NITs, you don't like to say that.
The word velo, which stands for velocity.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard about that a little bit this spring. Right now with the runner in scoring position, though, it's belted, deep left field. I mean deep, but it's foul.
My goodness. He tried to go back inside with that little tailing fastball. This time, Spilborghs was ready, but a little too quick. Boom. Well, that's a pretty swing, isn't it? Short, quick.
Well, let's see if he actually doubles up or if he goes back to the cutter. The 1-2. Split finger fastball. Another nice test for Montero, but it kicks away. So unable to pass it, and good heads up base running there by Barmas. The moment he saw it get far enough away, he was gone.
Well, good block here by Montero, but for some reason it's right in front, but he can't find it. It's almost like he turned sideways to block that ball instead of squaring up his body.
Boy, how big was that? The infield now is drawn in.
Well, Bob Melvin going to roll the dice a bit here early in the ball game. He feels like one run might be too many against Colorado and Ubaldo Jimenez.
206 strikeouts last year in 216 innings for Haren. He needs one right now. 2-2. Fastball, he got himself one.
Well, the whole world knows that Dan Haren's strikeout pitch, quote unquote, is his split finger, Darren. Haren knows that. And you could see that Spilborghs was looking for that split and got a fastball blown right by him. Great pitch.
Now with Seth Smith hitting the defenders as Spilborghs laments that at bat. The defense, maybe a step to pull on the infield. Reynolds right at the cut of the grass. The outfield straight up. Loads that back leg, doesn't he, Smith?
Well, he hit a long home run here yesterday. And he was a good Southern gentleman. Just put his head down, got around the bases, didn't do a dance or which is refreshing to see anymore.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Fastball. Well, he got a pitch he could handle, just didn't. 0-2 the count.
Well, and the thing is, Darren, Yeah, it was a good pitch to handle, but it was right after that beautiful first pitch curveball, and he put that in the back of Seth Smith's mind. Now that fastball has that little extra something because you've got off speed in your mind.
Now, do you believe enough in that split and Miguel to block it to throw it? Instead, it's a fastball away. I mean, it's worth watching right now. I mean, this is a key for this battery moment in this game. Got to be able to throw it.
You have to be able to throw your best pitch here.
The 1-2. He did. He did.
Great stuff, Dan Haren.
Nice throw by Dan Haren. And this young man, a nice throw. Even foul balls, I don't want him. Get him out of here. In to face Ubaldo Jimenez. Garrett Atkins on the line onto the grass on the third base side, and he bounds it to the right side instead. Jack in the Box invites you to step outside of the box with Jack and take a look. Gracie, we'll need your help with this. Homering from both sides of the plate.
Almost identical finishes. I mean, that's almost mirror images. And you mentioned it yesterday. I mean, look how similar those left-handed and right-handed swings are. That is rare, Darren, to have, well, almost a left-handed and right-handed twin. And the numbers are very similar from the left and right.
Yeah, the numbers are nearly identical. Slugging percentage, on base percentage. As that one is off the plate, wide. 1-0 the count to Chris Young. Felipe started switch hitting when he was 11 or 12 years old and is a natural right-handed hitter. And again, I'd like to tell you that one side's better than another. We'll back it up for you here in just a moment when we have a chance. Here's a switch hitter as well. He homers from both sides.
Yeah,
of
but
the
his
plate.
swings are very different, right and left-handed.
Two and one the count. I always marvel at Tony Clark because not only is he a switch hitter, but he's a 6'7" switch hitter.
Yeah.
Not only is there a lot to tinker with and tweak as that one's belted. Shallow center field on the line, and with the slide, Spilborghs makes the play for the out.
Now Stephen Drew.
You see a lot bigger uppercut from the left side.
Right on.
Which tells you that he is a much better low ball hitter from the left side and more of a high ball hitter on the right side. Those are pretty similar numbers too. Obviously the home runs and the RBIs because many more left-handed at bats. Good to have the big fella back again, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We missed him while he was gone.
You know, and when he came back with Arizona last year as the curveball, a high strike, he had one start, I believe, with San Diego. One. And so every time he hit, it was only one at bat.
Yeah, they had Adrian Gonzalez over there at first base with the Padres, a terrific first baseman.
Sure.
So Tony just didn't get many looks.
And it showed. And you thought about this winter, if in fact they'd resign him, how he would be able to perform. Really showed up in great shape this spring. No surprise, had a huge spring. And now he was a starter yesterday and a hero. He's over there with the bench brigade tonight. 2-2 the count. Where they were the likes of Augie Ojeda and Ryan Roberts. We're not too far away from that crew, heading down to the cage and getting some work in, maybe stretching, hitting. They turn the television on down there and have the game in case they need to monitor it as that one bounces in there. Change up there, 3-2 the count.
Well, Steven was 0-2. Now he's worked hard to get to 3-2. And I would think a fastball coming here with 2 outs and nobody on. Maybe Steve can cheat a little bit and take a big hack. It was a fastball and he missed with it.
Todd Walsh with a little bit more on Tony Clark as he stands by. Todd?
Yeah, we had an interesting feature from Jody Jackson on Miller Lite Diamondbacks Live, the pregame show, guys. And Tony admitting that he has aspirations to manage someday and has no fear whatsoever now about going up to Bob Melvin, whatever the situation might be, obviously at the right time, and sort of picking his brain, trying to find out what the thought process was, working his way towards a post-playing career. Somehow that just seems natural, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, there's too much knowledge in that man's noggin not to share it with others.
And there are leaders and there are followers. And the world is full of both, and there's nothing wrong with being either one. But he's a leader.
He is a leader of men, no question about it.
He had a chance to hop on the MLB network, though, this winter and do some analysis in studio. Did a pretty nice job sitting at the big desk.
He's so well-spoken and articulate. Most San Diego State guys are.
Really? So that's the reason? He did a nice job talking with Matt Vasgersian, who anchors the network. Matt reached out to you last night. We know he's
yes,
tuned
he
in.
Did, as a matter of fact.
They're doing a nice job with the network, though, despite Matt, honestly.
I agree. Matt has done his best to ruin that show, but the color guys just continue to save him. That's 6 straight wide ones for Ubaldo Jimenez. Yeah, he asked me. I think he sent you a text message earlier. Hey, ask Gracie, has he gained weight?
Can you believe that? The nerve.
Boy, that's just mean-spirited, isn't it?
Yeah. You go back east, you kind of get an edge to you. It's cold, bitter. In on the hands, popped up. It's a cold and bitter feeling to face a guy like Ubaldo Jimenez as well. Just when you think you got it. Get some mouthful sauce, Peter Brady, with those pork chops. Loose, our Aflac Duck taking a walk, named the 3 switch hitters with the most home runs in Diamondbacks history. 3 switch hitters with the most home runs in Diamondbacks history. Well, the franchise is fairly new. It's 12th season now. I'm going to say that Tony Clark's got to be on that list.
Has to be. Well, another switch hitter early in the early days was Devon White.
Ooh, Todd Helton on the ground. Felipe Lopez leaps, fires. He got it! Felipe Lopez uses that hard dirt here in the great state of Arizona to retire Todd Helton. Nice play.
I didn't think there was any chance. But Lopez got a bunch on it and really got him by a clean step. Terrific play by Lopez.
Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you what, as that switch hitter hopes to climb up that list.
Well, I'm really not pleased with the length of the buzz that I got. That was, I thought, a little bit uncalled for, to be honest with you.
Well, he nearly dropped in there for a strike. 1-0 the count.
I mean, that's about 10 steps of range and still get plenty on the throw. I don't think Felipe Lopez gets near enough credit for his defense, Darren. He will if he keeps that up.
Well, he's an athlete. And the bottom line is, with that athletic ability, as he continues to refine things, as he grows older, you hope that he's more of a solid defender. Everything has been in so far. 2 breaking balls and a fastball. Another breaking ball that's in. Mark Reynolds, keep those feet moving. He does. The Matt Williams-like throw. Better said the Mark Reynolds-like throw in time for the out.
I think Mark Reynolds is going to be just fine over there.
Right fielder Brad Hall.
Boy, the switch hitters, as you can see, an even 50 for the pitch count for both. Thinking about that, that's a great question. Brad Hall. Fastball right by him at 91 miles an hour. How about Alex Cintron?
Well, by knowing that just for the first time in this young 09 season, folks, Darren Sutton is probably cheating.
Well, there's no probably. I'm not, actually.
Alex Cintron had more than Devon White. That's shocking to me, to be honest with you.
Devon White was 4th on that list, I'm told. Just a guess. The 1-1. Just missed the outside part of the plate with a curveball. 2-1 the count.
I have to be. Well, the man he replaces Orlando Hudson. Orlando Hudson was a switch hitter.
Popped up. And into the seats it goes. So we got him, right?
I guess we got him.
I was just about to run Jeff DeVannen's name out there.
Ah, that would have been a great guess. Lots of homers here in a D-back uniform for Jeff DeVannen.
Saw him the other night. I know he's looking on, Jeff.
Another good San Diego State boy, Jeff DeVannen.
Uncle. 2-2. Just missed. 3-2 the count. Give him a fastball. Huge shift, by the way. Reynolds is all alone. Drew, Lopez, and Tracy cover the right side of that infield. Look at that. I don't wonder if they're ever tempted to lay down a bunt. Breaking ball stayed up that time.
That's a couple of balls that he's been a little tardy on. Those balls are going all away from the defense. The defense shaded around to the pull side.
Outfield straight, deep for the man out of LSU. Fastball, got it. Settling right in is Dan Haren, the dependable, the man in command now. Time to get him some runs. Home run inning. Bernard Bo Stasiewski from Phoenix. You are our contestant if a D-back hits a home run. And it hits the Gila River Casino's hit and win sign here in the fourth inning. A lucky fan watching. And we told you his name a moment ago. Will win at least $10,000. As that one a low strike, but a strike. The jackpot grows by $10,000 every time the prize goes unclaimed. The official rules and information, visit dbacks.com/hit-and-win. Tonight's jackpot, actually 20 grand.
Wow.
Breaking ball is high. As we weave in the fact, Mark Grace, you mentioned that you believed maybe Connor Jackson a better hitter against the closers, against the guys that are the hard throwers, the dominators.
Right. Well, I'm not saying he's a better hitter against them. I'm just saying he's one of the few guys in the major leagues that handles the aces and the closers, the guys that really most 90% of batters don't handle.
I'm here to tell you, he's a better hitter against them.
Is he really? Well, I'd like to know.
His career batting average is .287. Career. Against power pitchers, it's up 7 points, .294. Career on base, .367. Against power pitchers, up 12 points, .379.
Okay, now, because you're throwing.
Bouncing ball this time, high hop. Tulowitzki stays with it. And he throws in time for the out. Hold that thought.
I'm going to hold that thought. I have some questions.
We want to answer the Aflac trivia question. Which we already did.
Catcher Miguel Montero.
Name the 3 switch hitters with the most home runs in D-backs history. Big TC's on that list, and so is Orlando Hudson and Alex Cintron.
What, according to your book over there, what is considered a power pitcher?
I will tell you as Miguel Montero takes a changeup that stays away. According to baseballreference.com, power pitchers strike out or walk more than 28% of batters faced. 28%. Broken bat into right center field it goes. Will it find green grass? It will not. Covering a lot of ground as Ryan Spielborg's Miguel Montero is 0 for 2. They do a great job on that side. I simply trust their research on that. His slugging percentage is a little bit higher as well.
So power pitchers can go as well, wild pitchers. Guys that are wild because they walk a lot of people. Like a knuckleballer could be considered a power pitcher because they strike out people and walk people.
No.
So, all right, folks, let's move on. Just trust me. Connor Jackson can handle the aces and closers.
That's right, and I have the numbers to back my partner up. That's what just occurred there. Somehow, I think, if you listen. 0-1 the count to Mark Reynolds.
You know I never listen. Come on.
Stay tuned next week as Gracie and I break down whip.
No, you know you can break down whip with is my cohort on the radio side, and that's Tom Candiotti. He is a walks plus hits per innings pitch, right? Whip.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Don't
Tom
be throwing that out like
Tom
you know
Candiotti,
what it is.
Tom Candiotti loves that.
You might be reeled into a luncheon of sabermetricians.
And he'd be considered a power pitcher according to your book over there.
The 0-2 is high.
High strikeout, high walk total, absolutely. Knuckleballer. Gas.
There you go, my friend, right here in the ballpark.
There it is. Oh, I love proving these stats wrong.
Right off the end of the bat. So far, both pitchers in line for Gracie's favorite, the quality start.
Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki.
Taking a peek, taking a swim. Let's take a look at what's going on right now at the pool. Brought to you by our good friends with Ride Now Power Sports. Our Power Sports Pool Camp. Certainly glad for their support this year.
A little action out there tonight.
Troy Tulowitzki belts a hanging breaking ball to deep left field, and it's gone. He homered yesterday, and he has homered today. A frustrating year. He's looking to put it behind him in 2009.
Well, the first pitch curveball just hangs up in the zone, and he just pounded it out of here to left field. Yeah, that one just never got to where Haren wanted it. And a no doubter off the bat of Tulowitzki.
Yesterday, these two were good for back-to-back home runs. Randall Webb had never given up back-to-back home runs until he ran into Tulo and Chris Iannetta yesterday. As that one bounces in there, 2-0 the count. Iannetta last year had 88 hits. 42 of them were extra base hits.
Oh, he's a big old water buffalo. I mean, when he hits them, they go a long ways.
He'll be 26 years old tomorrow. Providence, Rhode Island is where he hails from. And he celebrated a bit today, I would imagine. He went to North Carolina. Check swing, roller, foul. Congratulations to the Tar Heels, and congratulations to Michigan State. If ever a region, a group needed something to rally around, that was a unique Final Four, to say the least, at Ford Field.
Certainly was. Another great college basketball season.
2-2.
Our local teams did a good job this year. ASU and U of A.
1-0, Colorado leads it. Both the teams have 3 hits. Don't forget, by the way, about the all-you-can-eat section. Get a club-level ticket plus all of your favorite ballpark food and limited hot dogs, Pepsi, popcorn, and chips for just $30. That one bounces in there.
Hot dogs, popcorn, and chips.
And Pepsi.
And Pepsi.
Right there. Now, what you have to do is they've opened up a couple of suites there. You can just go on up and fill your plate up right there. You don't even have to make your way all the way back. 602-462-4600 or visit vbacks.com. Brain freeze.
Gas. Maybe an angry fastball there from Dan Haren, right by Chris Iannetta. I mean, he just reared back and just threw this one right down the middle and right by Chris Iannetta.
Here's Clint Barmas. So he bounces back. Cut fastball right at the knees to Barmas. 0-1 to count. And they're running for the Rookie of the Year in 05, Clint Barmas, hitting .289 with 10 home runs. Breaking ball, and it's rolled foul past Reynolds. Injury followed, some downtime, having to earn himself on the roster a couple of times. And then second base was his position last year. He grabbed it, and he didn't let it go. Hit .280 last season with 11 home runs, 13 stolen bases as well.
I've always liked him as a player. I've always thought he can do some things. I mean, he's got some speed. He's got a little power in his bat. He can play second or short. He's a guy that I think could be an everyday player in this game if he just gets an opportunity somewhere.
2-2 the count. Well, yesterday for the Colorado Rockies, with a different look, the second baseman was Ian Stewart, but Glenn Hurdle with a matchup there. I think Barmas is going to get his fair share of looks this year. Stewart, a third baseman, playing second. Did he? No, we didn't. Fielding Colbert first base umpire. By the way, it's Wolf at second and Cedarstrom at third. Let's see.
Well, that's about as close as you can come without getting rung up.
So he throws him the same pitch. Another cut fastball, 3-2 the count. 28 years old, Dan Haren. Second round pick in 2001 out of Pepperdine by the Cardinals. Fastball, strike 3 over the outside corner. 6 strikeouts for Haren.
Well, after a breaking ball, fouled back, right back to the outside corner with the perfect fastball. Dan Haren on top of his game, but right now he's down by a run. His counterpart's going to step in against him, Ubaldo Jimenez. He's yet to hiccup, except on that swing.
And he may do it again. 3 for 67 last year.
3 for 67? Well, he's probably not hitting the aces and the closers.
We'll double check. The 1-1. Oh, oh my.
And then he just got a bowel locker of a curveball there. Yeah.
And that is that.
I think that makes him very happy.
7 strikeouts, but he trails it by a score of 1-0. Right. Time to take a look at the APS rooftop solar cam. Don't forget, change your life. Install solar panels on your roof and make your life a lot easier. And conserve as you do. Justin Upton to lead things off. It is Upton, it is Haren, it is Lopez. The Diamondbacks trail it by a score of 1-0. That right there is a classic shot.
That's a great shot, wasn't it? Well, after a good old-fashioned slugfest yesterday, we're getting a more normal ball game. A couple of talented right-handers going at it in Haren and Jimenez.
You're talking about Gracie wrapping the bat, and like Julio Franco, that's somewhat eerie.
I'm telling you, it's not that much different.
Upton at 21, and Franco in that shot, 73 years old. That's just the big difference there. What a career he had, though. 298 career average, my friend. Played well into his 40s.
He was a terrific player.
Used a huge bat, didn't he?
Big old bat, like 36-ounce bat. I remember Julio playing against him when he was a shortstop for Cleveland.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Oh my, 98 as it rides back down the middle.
Not going to do much with that.
He's thrown a good breaking ball, a changeup as well. He's thrown Justin a handful of changeups. Let's see. Kind of flicked a slider up there. Arm was underneath it.
He got underneath that breaking ball. It just spun, did nothing.
These are scary pitches. You're glad you get them back.
Yeah, you hang them just enough.
Outside.
Yeah, he overthrew that one. That was 96, but he threw that one about as hard as he possibly could, and it was nowhere near the strike zone. So a 3-2 count. Justin looking to get the inning started. Need the leadoff man on base. Should get a fastball here with Dan Haren on deck. Got it. Chased it out of the zone.
So a walk and now a strikeout. Want to remind everyone about the pitch we're about to see here. And also about the good news in sports. Fox Sports Arizona's Good Sport of the Week is back. Each week we'll profile a story of good sportsmanship on our air. If you know a story of good sportsmanship, email it to foxsportsarizona@foxsports.net. It just might be that you or someone you recommend becomes our good sport of the week. And that's a good thing, a very good thing. Certainly something TC could, on the professional level, earn. Get those amateurs, lift up some of those amateurs you know out there at any level. No balls and 2 strikes to count.
Well, Dan Haren probably had the best opportunity to do some damage offensively. He tapped into a double play with the bases loaded back in the 2nd inning. And since then, Jimenez has been pretty unhittable. Oh, dear.
Yes, sir. 5 strikeouts. You know, we were talking about opening day being like Christmas when we came on the air. It certainly is. And when Christmas is over, then Santa can rest and go to a ball game as a fan.
And take a trip down from the North Pole, where it's a little warmer these days.
It is. Repeat right here.
Rinse and repeat.
How about that? Now all of a sudden, he hasn't thrown many. He's breaking out a slow, straight down curveball. I mean, 72, Gracie.
And a beauty.
When you think about 72 miles an hour, and you can reach down and get 98, that differential in velocity.
There's a reason why Clint Hurdle and the Rockies feel so good about this kid's future.
Just protecting with a fastball. Last year, on September 28th here in this ballpark, Jimenez went 7 shutout innings, struck out 10, received a no decision because the bullpen blew it. It was a 2-1 Diamondbacks win. Bouncing ball. And he's rolling along. More shutout innings are being piled up by the right-hander out of Nagua in the Dominican Republic, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Diamondbacks guys, I've made my way to the all-you-can-eat seats out here.
Cool.
I got to tell you, this. You guys having a good time up here? No media allowed, by the way.
What?
It's a long story. I'm going to work on that. Hey, real quick, before we get back to Dan Haren, though, this is my first guerrilla marketing attempt at a show coming up that will debut on May the 1st. It's Dan Haren, guys, in my own words. I had a chance to sit down with him about a month and a half ago at his home and hang out with his family and his father. So many things about Dan Haren that I had a chance to learn, in particular the fact that he grew up really in and around, in the Boys and Girls Club. His dad was an executive board member of the Boys and Girls Club in his hometown, and that's where he went and hung out. His dad specifically made him play baseball with kids a little bit older than Dan, so he wasn't the star of the team, that he had to push himself all the time. And some interesting stories about his family, how difficult it is for him to leave his wife and his family to go out on the road. A very soft side to Dan Haren, a very introspective side. He thinks about a lot of things when he's out there on the mound, and that show will come up, and I know that you'll be happy to see it, guys.
Yeah, certainly. Don't go away, Todd, because I know you've interviewed legends, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, and we've loved them all in the series. You really enjoyed this with him, didn't you?
I really did. You know, Dan Haren's the kind of guy, Darren, that will come and talk to you after a good game or a bad game. He's always there to talk about his outing, but I never really had a chance to connect to him. I think he was still trying to feel his way around his new surroundings, and you know that always takes quite a bit of time. But to be able to go to his place and hang out, do a little research on him, and find out just how thoughtful he is. One thing that comes to mind, I know I'll have this bike for you in a couple of weeks. That show is in pre-production right now, but just for him to go to the All-Star game at Yankee Stadium in New York, his father was there holding his son. His father grew up in the shadows of Yankee Stadium, and I said, Dan, were you thinking about that? Absolutely. So there's some depth to this guy that I think we'll bring out on that show. I hope we do.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Well done.
You want a hot dog or some, sir?
Yes.
Whatever there is, we'll be having 3 or 4, please.
See what I can do.
Well, it's all you can eat, right?
Just say the word Derek Hall 5 times and click your heels together.
I don't have any red shoes on.
Oh, okay.
I'll work on that. Anybody got a hamburger for a hot dog for Darren?
Gobbled up. Stephen Drew fires in time. No hot dog in that play at all. Just a fine play by Stephen as Spilborghs is erased. Oh, well done.
Can I get another one for Mark
We
Grace?
could just have others, Gracie, go fill their plate up.
You're right there, guys.
We don't want to encourage that, obviously,
Can I have
out there.
10,000 marbles,
Never
please?
been afraid to delegate.
There's the all-you-can-eat section. Please tell me you folks are going to head out that way. Do you folks remember the old redhead section? Do you folks remember that? That's where it is now. Mr. Hall loved the energy that you redheads created, decided to put it there. As that one is lifted, hugging the line, long run, Connor Jackson, and it's into the seats. And now, the redhead section has moved. That's where it used to be. Oh, my friend, we're going to have some fun. Because the redhead section has moved directly behind the visiting bullpen. Mark Grace, those 2 sections right there over the StubHub.com sign. You get down to the field level.
That's going to be awesome. Just right in that area. Huh?
Yep, the last Tuesday of every month at home, and that's your view. Fastball belted, well struck, has Chris Young on the run. And the left center field he goes, and he's got room. Boy, there is a lightning bolt in the bat of Seth Smith, isn't there?
He just missed that ball, and he still hit it nearly 400 feet. But he puts a good swing on the ball, a short, crisp swing. He just missed it.
Run it back, baby.
You bet.
And he'll learn that up here. That in this game, there's full of guys like Dan Haren that you're gonna just miss a lot.
2 outs for Todd Helton, and 0-1 the count. Smith, by the way, was drafted out of high school by the Diamondbacks. 48th round pick. High school, a Christian school in Mississippi. And ended up going to college at Ole Miss, and then he was found by the Rockies. 1-1 the count.
Wow.
There goes the bat. Look out. Hopefully everyone's all right. There's a split-fingered fastball diving down and away. And a souvenir. Could have Baxter down there making sure everyone's all right.
Baxter down there with everybody. Look out. I think everybody's okay. Thank the world for that. Baxter probably got a hand buzzer down there shaking hands. And
he's crazy.
He's the mischievous one, that
yeah,
Baxter.
oh, you bet.
Maybe down there, when somebody sits down, it'll probably be on a whoopee cushion.
The 1-2. Oh my, did he just put a sequence on a future Hall of Famer? 8 strikeouts for Dan Haren.
He needs some help, Darren.
Yeah, he needs some runs, my friend. Let's get him some. All about pitching, no doubt about it. Ubaldo Jimenez, changeups, fastballs, 5 strikeouts overall. Dan Haren, he's bringing it to the table as well. Changeup, split-fingered fastball, 1 mistake in this game. A hanging breaking ball to Troy Tulowitzki. And Tulowitzki has a pair of home runs here in 2009 already. As Ubaldo Jimenez goes to work. Much to say negatively about either one. They've both been fabulous. No surprise, not a single walk for Haren. And a very talented future star who is currently playing on the bench for the Colorado Rockies moves into center field. The #1 prospect for this organization, Dexter Fowler, they decided to have him make the club. And the ceiling is very high as he takes over.
He had a monster spring.
And Ryan Spilborghs moves to left. Speaking of talented center fielders, let's see what Young can pull off. 0 for 2, a strikeout. Wow, and a line out to center field. A slider that's called a ball.
I think Chris Young got a pretty good break there.
Bouncing ball to third. Right at his belt is Garrett Atkins. Helton, make sure that it turns into an out.
Defensive changes for Colorado this inning. Moving from center field to left field, number 19, Ryan Spilborghs.
Talk about Ubaldo Jimenez. He finished 2008 strong in September as well. He had 5 starts. He was a perfect 3-0. 2.90 ERA with a sub-200 opponent's batting average.
Stephen Drew, a base hit and a walk and 2 at-bats. Jimenez misses with a changeup. There's not much to cheer about so far offensively for the D-backs.
Ball is belted, deep right field. Off the wall, Drew hustling on a route. Into second, an extra base hit as we show you last year's collection of extra base hits. Drew with a single, a double, and a walk tonight.
He just missed a home run. He top spun it a bit. That's a changeup that stays belt high. Stephen Drew doesn't miss many of those. Off the top of the wall. And a stand-up double, and an opportunity for Chad Tracy to tie the ball game up or maybe even give his teammates the lead. See if they can take care of Dan Haren. He's throwing the ball way too well.
Slightly open stance of the man out of East Carolina as a fastball dives low. 1-0 the count. A runner in scoring position for the Diamondbacks. It's their third. And one in the second. An extra runner in the second as well, and now Steven. And the bases loaded in the second inning. That one is fouled back.
Boy, he had a good rip at a fastball.
See the numbers for Chad last year. Jimenez with no one on base. Opponents hit .236 with runners in scoring position. That average went up 48 points for opposing hitters. Not a surprise, right? For young pitchers, you sometimes overthrow in that situation.
I agree. And this is one of those kids that once he just trusts his stuff, which he probably does already, why change? I mean, when you can throw as hard as he does with the off-speed pitches.
In on the hands, popped up, back of short, toward to Lewitsky. He makes that look easy.
He really does, and that's tough. Nice play.
Out of Long Beach State University is where Tulowitzki played his college baseball. And this has been his trademark forever, this defense.
Well, now it's decision time. Chris Iannetta becoming a veteran catcher now, going to talk to his youngster. All right. You got Connor Jackson with a base open. Connor's right-handed, right on right. On deck, you got Miguel Montero, who doesn't have near the reputation as a hitter that Connor Jackson does. So it's decision time. Do we take our chances with Jackson, a proven RBI guy, or the younger Montero? And although he's left-handed, I think Clint Hurdle has seen Connor Jackson beat him way too many times.
He singled in the second, grounded to short in the fourth inning. Starts him off with a changeup, and now a fastball is low. 2-0 the count.
Jimenez wanted that one.
Did he now? 2-0. I think it was well low in the strike zone. A little battle going on now with the young right-hander. And a battle with that opposing pitcher, the all-star in that other dugout as well.
Now this is a pitch around Darren. That was a 2-0 changeup that missed. Now Tulowitzki going to come in for the second time during this at-bat.
This is curious.
Well, I think it's a pitch around.
I understand that, but this is curious why you visit here.
Hey, man, were they watching back home in Dominican when I hit that home run?
3-0 the count. Guy like Connor Jackson, you see the thinking. Maybe he'll offer one of those pitches. This is not the guy that offers at those pitches. Never has, never will be.
And he did. That was definitely a pitch around, Darren.
Right now, let's watch Mark Grace. Let's watch. He's a young pitcher, but he's made enough starts in the big leagues now. 50 of them to be exact. There are some pitchers, when you ask them to stop throwing strikes, have a hard time throwing strikes again with effectiveness. We'll see.
And that's why he just got a visit from his pitching coach, Bob Apodaca.
And I have talked about this for a long, long time. There are two schools of thought. What just occurred there, and he handled it very nicely.
I thought so, yes.
But there's also the thought you can just put up four fingers.
See, that's my point. And I loved having the conversation with your father last year, Hall of Famer Don. And he's a big believer in, walk him. don't. A lot of times you pitch around a guy and you throw him a changeup or you throw him a breaking ball and you end up missing the release point. And you leave something right there in the zone to whack. And he came close a couple times with Connor.
Miguel Montero, the later the games get throughout his career, the better he gets.
He's probably going to get a steady diet of fastballs.
Let's watch. In 1-0 the count. Let's also watch the command of Jimenez.
And also, the Rockies know that Montero likes the ball out over the plate. He likes the ball down, and he likes it out over. He likes to go up the middle and the other way. That's his strength. So they'll probably crowd him inside with fastballs.
Young man out of Venezuela. That wide open stance. Breaking ball. What a pretty pitch.
Montero thinking fastball all the way. That's almost, when you throw one like that, Darren, you're just trying to steal a strike, basically, aren't you? You're not trying to throw the put-away curveball. You're just trying to flip it over there with some spin for a strike.
Change of velocity fools you more than anything. 1-1. In 2-1 the count. We mentioned earlier Montero homering, his lone hit, 1 for 9 against Jimenez. A decisive home run at that. Outside, 3-1.
Well, this is one of those situations where Jimenez, after a lot of times when you intentionally throw wide ones, sometimes it's hard to find that strike zone on the next hitter, and that's been the case. And he's fallen behind Montero now. And now Montero's going to get a fastball, and let's see if he can get something in the middle of the plate he can drive. Right back inside and swinging way too hard was Miguel Montero. Nice and easy, young man.
Runners will be off with the pitch. There they go. Here it comes, and Montero goes down on strikes. Jimenez buckling down, making sure Dan Haren has nothing to work with. Time now for our Chaz Roberts cool play back at the ballpark. Ryan Spilborg's covering an awful lot of ground. Our good friends with Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Heating, presenting the cool play this evening.
Leading off for Colorado, third baseman Garrett Atkins.
Garrett Atkins to lead things off against Dan Haren. Haren has 8 strikeouts, has given up just 1 run, a home run by Troy Tulowitzki back in the 5th inning. Atkins has grounded out the third a couple of times with a nice little history against Haren. 4 hits now in 15 at bats. He was 4 for 13 coming in. Let's see, pitch count. 89 pitches for Haren. It was 2 starts ago, Mark Grace, in spring training, that he was ready to go. He went 7 innings 2 starts ago. As that one misses away. 2-1 the count. So he takes a walk. Last year, Dan Haren went 6 or more innings in 29 of 33 of his starts. Breaking ball, rocket shot. It's a foul ball. 2-2. Say whatever you will about that, but I say that's dependable. You make 33 starts, 29 of them, you're going at least 6 innings. As Juan Gutierrez begins to warm in the bullpen. Atkins is erased by his counterpart. Don't forget, D-backs bobblehead collectibles are back for 2009. The Justin Upton bobblehead is the first in a series of 5. The first 25,000 fans receive one at Saturday, the April 25th game, when the D-backs take on the Giants. Be sure to vote now for the fan vote bobblehead that will be given away in September. Vote online at dbacks.com/bobble. Boy, you love it when you throw just one more pitch to get one more out at this point in the game. Reading that copy, Brad Hoff is erased while I read those words. And Dan Haren loves it.
As the game moves on and that pitch count starts to climb, you get those aggressive big sluggers like Brad Hoff, and it only takes one pitch. You say, oh, baby.
This is earlier in the 5th inning. One mistake. And that one dives down and away. Troy Tulowitzki. On 1-0, evens the count at 1-1. Talking about home runs, he had 24 long balls 2 seasons ago.
He's a big, strong kid. You know, you think shortstop, and then you look at him and you go, this guy's built more like a right fielder.
And that pitch away, it may have been a bit of a more fatigued arm cut fastball at 84 miles an hour. You and I have gone back and forth on this. Tulowitzki, the young man that should have won the Rookie of the Year 2 seasons ago.
He had a great season, no question about it. He had the second best season of any rookie that year, behind Ryan Braun.
Fouls that one back.
And you and I always, I'm a huge Ryan Braun fan. You're a huge Troy Tulowitzki fan. That's all right. I mean, they're both terrific players.
It's shortstop. Best defensive shortstop in baseball as well. The 1-2. And he is a very good defensive shortstop, and that's why someone right now needs to get him his glove.
next year, Mark Reynolds.
He's got some power in his bat, doesn't he? Guys, we'll send it back to you. We're here after the game for Quest D-backs Live.
We'll get it right out to you as fast as we can, and we hope we do so with a victory. You are voting so far for Mark Reynolds. Let us hope that your telephones are serving as prophetic agents right now and getting Mark Reynolds off and running. Reynolds so far in this ball game, he singled back in the second inning and grounded back to the mound in the fourth inning. Didn't play yesterday. 29 games against Colorado, a .293 hitter in his career. Remember, he made that major league debut in '07 against the Colorado Rockies and had a first 2 weeks that was the envy of everyone else that has broken into the big leagues.
Well, that's when we labeled him sheriff.
That's exactly right.
Came in, we said, there's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Mark Reynolds. And unfortunately for Reynolds there, he falls behind 0-2 to Jimenez. Really hasn't made many mistakes tonight. Stephen Drew hit a double off the wall, and that's about the only hard hit ball of the night.
Boy, I tell you what, interesting shot there. Iannetta called for the changeup, pounded his catcher's mitt on the dirt, said get it down, and it was right at the belt. Lucky he threw that one back to him. He did it again. Boy, look at Chip Hale. I'll tell you what, Diamondbacks third base coach.
So fundamentally sound, isn't he?
Lorenzo Bundy over in that first box. You know what? Chip Hale, congratulations as we take a look at Low Bundy. A finalist, took it right down to the end with Jack Zarenzik and the Seattle Mariners. We need to mention that right now. I mean, he took a run at what would be his first major league managerial job. You got to think it'll happen soon. Congratulations. To be a part of that process,
Absolutely.
What an honor for Chip and for the Diamondbacks.
He's been successful everywhere he's been in the minor leagues as a manager. He's been a successful third base coach here for a couple of years. It's going to be his turn sometime soon as Reynolds fans.
Got him with a slider. See Jimenez spread those pitches out as he approaches 100. It's not alarming for a power pitcher, numbers like that at all.
No, not at all. I think that's very, if you can get a guy like him, a high strikeout guy, you get him to about 110 pitches through 7 innings, you're ahead of the game as Justin waves at a breaking ball and misses.
Justin 0 for 6 now. 4 strikeouts and a walk in his career against Ubaldo Jimenez. Lays off that breaking ball there. Well, what a different couple of games, huh? Between these two teams. Well, that'll sum it up. Thank you, gentlemen.
It just looks to me like Justin's in between right now. He's taking a lot of pitches. He's kind of in that mode right now where he's swinging at the balls and taking the strikes. That's never good.
11 pitchers used yesterday, just 2 today. 95 buried in.
A lot of times that'll get Justin's attention. You'll get that edge to him sometimes when you run one up there near him. And I like that about Justin.
Tony Clark waits on deck. Did he on a slider well outside? Yes, he did. 3 consecutive strikeouts going back to the 6th inning for Jimenez. Looked like he did.
Yeah, close call, but I think he might have got it right. And Dan Haren's going to be lifted as a pinch hitter. And boy, what a job Dan Haren did. But right now, he's the pitcher of record, and he's on the wrong side of the ledger.
Dan Haren, number 22, Eric Burns.
Eric Burns is called upon. Haren fabulous tonight. As it gets later in this inning and later in this ball game, let's see what in fact they can do for Dan. Go cousin Eric. All right, his cousin is here.
Wow.
That's exciting stuff when family comes to town and visits. Eric got the start yesterday. That's a changeup, folks. How about that pitch? Diving in. Burns yesterday 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Big John Roush warming up in the bullpen.
And that one skitters away from Chris Iannetta. Los D-backs. The 1-1. Right to Troy Tulowitzki. He's been breaking them all night long. And that bat died a very unhappy death. Southwest Airlines, low fares and no hidden fees. Always worth taking a drive to Old Town Scottsdale. Bring the family and the friends. Enjoy a nice walk around town as we walk back in and welcome you back. Miller Lite, what's brewing as John Roush goes to work, and certainly John Roush hopes that what is brewing for him is a very, very solid season this year. Had a tough trip to the finish line with the Diamondbacks last year, and certainly had a tough spring training. A very tough spring training.
Well, the slate's clean, though.
Wasn't that the best part of things?
And right now, John Roush needs to get 3 outs and keep his team a run down.
Breaking ball for strike one, a slider, 0-1 the count.
Good pitch there.
91 miles an hour. Already with the lights on and another deck, it makes a difference. And good for him. He's got to get in. I mean, Roush isn't a guy that throws in the high 90s.
No.
It's his height that helps with that 91, 92.
I mean, he's certainly, he's the tallest pitcher. He's taller than Randy Johnson, right?
6 feet 11 inches tall. Very, very well said, Mark Grace.
So obviously, you think he's throwing. Now he is throwing hard, but it's not high 90s as you said.
Off speed, popped up. Montero racing to the camera line and bounce on top of the dugout. Don't forget, by the way, tomorrow, Day Baseball will be on the air with you right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Miller Lite, what's brewing? Doug Davis against Franklin Morales.
Oh, day game. We'll be out of our coats and ties.
Yes, we will.
Be in some new garb, I understand.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'll tell you. By the way, 1 year ago tomorrow, Doug Davis beat the Dodgers in his final start before beating thyroid cancer. So certainly excited to see him take the mound again and totally cancer-free. Buried that fastball in. And on a warm day tomorrow, we'll be nice and comfortable in our brand new Fox Sports Arizona logoed golf shirts.
Looking very forward to breaking those out. They're nice looking.
Well, let us know what you folks think. We may even make them available to the public. Fastball is high again, 91 miles an hour, so that's plenty. Maybe we'll get it going to the other day games later. We play a lot of day games at home.
Yeah.
Maybe let the fans pick. We got like 9 or 10 colors coming. As that one is high.
I want to thank Mark Rita for leading the charge, getting us well dressed.
Fine coordinating producer of Fox Sports Arizona. 3-2 the count. Bouncing ball and a foul ball.
Right now, Ionetta putting a pretty good at bat on John Roush. It was 0-2. He's fought off some tough pitches, taken some close pitches. Now it's 3-2. Roush going to have to throw a strike here. He did, and another foul ball.
Perfect. I mean, that's a perfect pitch.
As a pitcher, this has got to drive you crazy, doesn't it, Darren? Your first batter you're facing, and you have about an 11 pitch at bat. I'm going to correct myself. It's been 9.
Which is easy to say, about 11. You didn't say exactly. High pop. All that matters is on pitch number 10. He gets it. Trio of Diamondbacks coming together, and Chris Young. And a nice job there for John Roush. Yeah, it got to the point for Roush where it got frustrating to come to work. He went 9 1/3 innings this spring and gave up 15 earned runs. You talk about the workload for Roush. Since 2006, he has 247 appearances.
No, he's been an absolute workhorse for what was the Montreal Expos and then the Washington Nationals. Came up with Chicago White Sox.
It was 247, by the way, #1 in Major League Baseball. So with that in mind, there are times, and sometimes it's spring training, sometimes it's later in spring training, where you just lose a lot. Velocity-wise. Bouncing ball, that's a fair ball. Clinton Marmas picked on a breaking ball, and it will roll off the short wall out there. So Clint Marmas with a double. And it's got to stay a 1-0 ball game, so Roush now has some work to do.
Well, breaking ball, it stays in the middle of the plate, pulled down the line, past a sprawling Mark Reynolds. No chance there, so a 1-out double. And great news for the Diamondbacks is Colorado is going to send Ian Stewart to the plate in place of Ubaldo Jimenez. And a big old tip of the cap to one Mr. Jimenez tonight. What a job he did for 7 innings for Clint Hurdle and the Rockies.
3 walks, 4 hits, no runs allowed, 8 strikeouts for Ubaldo Jimenez. And Ian Stewart takes a strike. Just now, Doug Slayton starts to lightly toss in the bullpen. And this is where Roush had the toughest time last year and this spring with left-handed hitters. This time, though, let's see. Chris Young coming on. It will drop in. And another run. It is 2-0 Colorado Rockies. Didn't hit it hard, but perfectly placed. Ian Stewart with a base hit and an RBI.
Now Roush was left in to face the left-handed hitting Stewart. And he just catches it right off the, almost a cue shot, Darren, right off the end of the bat. But it works out awfully well for Stewart and the Rockies, 2-0.
So here's Ryan Spilborghs. Still just 1 out, 2-0 now. The Rockies lead the Diamondbacks. As that one dives down and away. Worked on a cut fastball in spring training. One of the reasons he also felt like he struggled a bit. As big as you are and as intimidating as you may be with your size, there still is that issue of confidence. And I would imagine there have been times, including last year as a Diamondback, where that confidence has waned for John Roush. I don't care how tall you are. Slider away. We talk about this role. This was the role that former Diamondback and now Kansas City Royal pitcher Juan Cruz was in a lot. Down 2-1, down 1-0.
And he was terrific.
It's such an important role. I mean, folks need to understand, obviously, it's almost like a reverse setup man. Not to sound silly, but you keep it here, you give yourself a real big-time chance. You keep it at 1-0. And we've talked a lot about it. For me, anyway, kind of an overlooked role in the bullpen.
Oh, no question. Yeah, you don't get the fanfare, but the people that appreciate you are your teammates and your manager.
You get some W's along the way,
Exactly.
though, if you do that. Very concerned about Stewart at first base as Dexter Fowler waits. Off speed, bounces in there. 3-1 the count. Again, Dan Haren went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits and a run, didn't walk anyone, and struck out 9.
Dan Haren did kind of what we expect Dan Haren to do just about every time he takes the mound. Dominate, and he did. He's on the wrong end of a 2-0 ball game right now, but he dominated this good Rocky lineup.
Bouncing ball, Reynolds sets his feet enough, fires it on across. Nice play.
That's a very nice play.
Almost lost his footing, but never did.
Stayed right with him. Strong arm across the diamond, right on the button. The footwork was terrific there. And here's Dexter Fowler, who you talked to Clint Hurdle. You mentioned this kid's name, he just gushes.
Breaking ball drops down and he hit .335, 31 doubles, 9 triples, and 9 homers. For AA Tulsa last year, skipped AAA's, never played in AAA. Stole 20 bases as well. The #1 prospect in the Rockies organization. He's a switch hitter. Played with the United States squad last year, bronze medal squad at the Beijing Olympics. It's one of those tough decisions, Mark Grace, that a team and a franchise have to make. Is it better to have him here? We need him on our club. He deepens our bench. We believe in his abilities. He won't get as much playing time as he'd get in Colorado Springs. It's a tough choice.
It's a maddening choice. He's good enough to play in the big leagues. We just don't have room for him right now.
2-1 the count. Straightens him up. Not a bad pitch if you have command following it. Got under his skin a little bit there. See if you can get an angry swing out of him. He did. And he really executed.
Yeah, went right back inside, but this time with a slider instead of the fastball. So you sped him up by throwing the fastball in, and then you come right back in, but this time it's a slider and right over the top. No chance was Fowler.
Todd Helton waits on deck. You want to get this man here. 2-2. Nice job blocking it up. Embry and Spire were both warming in the bullpen earlier for the Rockies. They're done warming. We'll see after the break who takes the hill, but it won't be Ubaldo Jimenez.
That's the good news for Diamondback hitters.
3-2. Decided late to offer it that one. We'll do it again.
That was almost an emergency swing, but he did what he needed to do, fought it off, and he lives to fight another day.
Full count, 2 outs. He lost him. He's got to face Helton, or will it be the left-hander?
I think that'll be it for Big John Roush.
We'll step aside. 2-0. Slayton with work to do.
From the largest selection of authentic team gear.
What?
You want hats, you want t-shirts, you want jerseys, any collectibles? Get your team gear straight from the source. Visit dbacks.com/shop.
You know what I want? I want to be able to read those.
No. Nope.
How'd that happen?
Well, that's called a rally read.
All right. Well, I'll let you have that one. I'll certainly let you have that one. Doug Slayton, the left-hander, goes to work as Mark Grace adds to his resume. The leader at the mothership, Ron Gralnick, looking on. I know he'll be very proud of the effort on that read. I know he signed off on it. 4.73 ERA. There he is. The very studied, tried and true, and ready to rally, Mark Grace.
Get my pom-poms. Let me put my hat on.
No.
No, you don't like it?
Nope.
No. Doggone it. You know, you are becoming an old fuddy-duddy.
Anyway, Todd Helton digs in. A couple of runners on. The at-bat of the ball game, certainly, if you want to keep it right here. We know Helton can handle guys from both sides. Breaking ball, strike one. Miguel Montero did a nice job grabbing that pitch.
That was a beautiful pitch, and as you said, Montero did a great job of framing it, leaving it right there for Brian O'Neill to look at and call strike one.
Great hitter, any count. You really haven't gained much momentum, so you have to keep battling. The 0-1 pitch. That one runs away. Todd Helton in his career, a .338 hitter against right-handed pitching, a .305 hitter against left-handed pitching.
Wow.
The 1-1. Outside, 2-1 the count. Garrett Atkins waits on deck. At Petco Park, they're in the bottom half of inning number 6. The Dodgers lead the Padres 2-1. Randy Wolf and Chris Young in a good one. The 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball stays at the belt, but it's strike 2.
And that one froze Helton. That was the front door breaking ball. Start right at about the third rib of Todd Helton and bring it right back to the inside corner.
Couple of runners on. The 2-2 pitch. Wouldn't offer it that one. And the count is 3-2. The runners will be off. Ian Stewart, pretty good speed. That man can fly. Doesn't matter. You really can't allow another run, period.
At all. That's why you don't have to give in here, Darren. Throw the slider. If you miss with it, heck with it.
Runners go. 3-2. Line drive. Left center field. It's down. Stewart will score easily. Pitch up in the zone, and Slayton unable to get Helton, and 3-0 to score.
Well, the struggles of John Roush and Doug Slayton continue here tonight. Slayton was hurt yesterday by a bevy of left-handed hitters.
And it doesn't get any easier. We gave you the career numbers, but he didn't execute his pitch. Up, out, over the plate. Helton, all he had to do was stay back, use the entire field, put it on a tee for him, and he took advantage.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun to hit, those sliders that stayed above the belt. And if Slayton has Slayton's his best pitch is not doing very much. He's in for a world of hurt.
You see what Clint Hurdle has been planning, and the Diamondbacks debut for Juan Gutierrez. A little bit of time in the big leagues with Houston in 07, spent all of last year in Tucson. A power arm, struggled certainly as a starter last year. The thought is get that power arm, put it in the bullpen. Right away he goes to work with a slider. 1-0 the count. Started him off with a slider.
Not happy about that, are you?
The 1-0. Another one. Bouncing ball. It's a foul ball.
So you're probably even more unhappy about the second pitch slide.
I'll take that one for a strike. Got a good arm.
Power guy.
Out of Barcelona and Venezuela. Look at that fastball.
Dear.
That's the one I wanted to see.
That's what you want to see. Fastball. In on those hands.
Lopez,
Power guy.
Young and Drew get it going. Bring it one.
Come on, son. No, stop laughing at me. I'm serious. Come on, get on your feet. Anybody?
Anytime. Well, really some work to do now. You hoped it was 1-0. It's not. It's 3-0. Manuel Corpus takes the baseball. Setup man for Houston Street. And the veteran Rocky now, been at it for a couple of seasons. Hard thrower with a lot of movement on that baseball. Served in both roles, as you can see. ERA last year 4.52. With that stuff, that's hard to imagine. Bouncing ball, ranging to his left. Troy Tulowitzki. And Felipe Lopez is 0 for 4 this evening. Last season was a tough season for Corpus against the Diamondbacks. Arnova in-game box. You hope some of these guys can add to those numbers against Corpus. And you can see Stephen Drew's had a nice night, but otherwise he's stood alone.
Not much to get excited about there offensively. A big fat donut after such a promising opening day offensively.
Slider misses away. Last year in 9 games, Corpus 8 1/3 innings, an ERA of 9.72. Arizona hit .405 last year against Manuel Corpus. Bouncing ball, Stewart slips and falls, recovers nicely. Nice job there. A little divot out of the grass and didn't panic at all. Give him credit.
Stayed right with it.
Just came into the game as well.
Play, absolutely. Always replace your divots, folks. See the high hopper comes in. Whoa! I'll tell you what, he did a nice job of gathering himself and making the play. Very athletic. Probably a first baseman.
Actually not. Here's Stephen Drew.
He's had himself a nice ball game tonight. A walk, a double, a single.
Just a little bit low. 1-1 to count. The Padres have mounted a bit of a rally in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they lead the Dodgers by a score of 3-2 now.
I love it when you go to the out-of-town scoreboard, Darren.
Just for you. 1-1. And it's into the seats.
Chicago Cubs lost a heartbreaker today in Houston.
Did they now?
They did. They did. 3-2 Astros. On a walk-off base hit by one of our favorites, Jeff Keppinger.
Oh, Jeff Keppinger. Congratulations. So he's moved on?
He's moved on to the Houston Astros, yes.
Outside. 2-2 the count. Same two teams go after it tomorrow. And sleep fast, folks. We'll be back with you lunchtime, 12:40. We'll get things underway. Franklin Morales against Double D, Doug Davis. As that one is popped up. And into the seats it goes. Morales, real late in spring training, finally earning that last spot in the rotation. Now, that's a power arm. I mean, without doubt. An underachiever last season.
There's a rally hat. I don't blame you.
Two-two.
What a pitch.
7 in a row sat down by Rockies pitching. The Diamondbacks go down 1, 2, and 3. Gutierrez in relief of this Diamondbacks bullpen that was in relief of Dan Haren, who was fabulous tonight. Just that Ubaldo Jimenez, unfortunately, was just a step better. Haren 7 innings, 1 run allowed, a solo home run, Troy Tulowitzki. No walks and 9 strikeouts. Brad Hawk. Fastball jumps in there at 94 miles an hour.
Slow breaking ball there from Gutierrez.
You got the slider and the curveball then. Last year, Gutierrez 116 and 2/3 innings, 87 strikeouts. Not an overwhelming number. There are a lot of hits allowed. 152.
Oh, dear. Pretty breaking ball there from Gutierrez.
Big shift. You see 3 Diamondbacks, Drew and Lopez and Tracy, all bunched up between first and second. And the 25-year-old brings the fastball at 94 miles an hour. There's that defense. You can see now what Bob Melvin, Josh Burns, you can see what they like about this arm. He struggled this spring, but they kept seeing enough in him to bring him with. Matter of consistency with that arm.
Pretty good pitch there. Missed inside. Well executed.
96 miles an hour.
Man.
Two-two pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3.
Stop it. That's good stuff there, Mr. Gutierrez. Very good stuff.
Good stuff tonight, too, for Dan Haren, Mark Grace. What did you see as we show you the video?
Just once again, uncanny command. Inside, outside with the fastball, changing speeds. One mistake. A breaking ball up in the zone to this man, Troy Tulowitzki. Bullpen struggled in the 8th inning, gave up a couple more runs, and here we stand.
The 0-1.
Gas.
0-2. Now he was acquired in that deal with the Houston Astros, along with Chad Qualls and Chris Burke for Jose Valverde.
Right.
Line drive center field, and there to make the play in a very unique manner as Chris Young was knuckling on him. That's why.
Catcher Chris Iannetta.
This ball started sinking on him late. Had it all the way.
All right, Chris Iannetta, then it's one more chance for the D-backs. Breaking ball, 0-1 the count. Tracy Jackson and Montero due up. I'd imagine that's Houston Street warming out there.
And you would be correct, my friend.
95 miles an hour.
A lot to like so far from Gutierrez. Looks like the command is good. Strike thrower with the good breaking ball. The far above average fastball.
0-2. Good 0-2 pitch.
Whew. I like his poise. Just kind of stands right on the mound. He doesn't walk around, get negative with himself. Here, give me the ball.
Oh, man.
Give me the ball. Stay right on the dirt area. Give me a sign. Let's play baseball.
He's 25 years old. The 2-2. That is that. Wow.
Very impressive.
What a Diamondbacks debut for Juan Gutierrez. strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings. The last time he pitched in this ballpark, he also threw 7 scoreless innings. Tonight he appears closer to a win. He lost that game, or at least his teammates did. So we welcome you back inside. One last chance, and that chance will belong to the right-hander, Houston Street. Acquired in the deal that sent Matt Holliday to the Oakland A's this winter. Very unique way of delivering the baseball, hides the baseball well, and that right arm is pretty darn gifted.
Houston Street did some closing for the Oakland A's. Now he's going to be asked to get his first National League. Well, no, it won't be. Will it be a save? Is it 3-0? Yeah, it'll be a save.
Leading off for the Diamondbacks, first baseman.
I'm sorry, Darren. Very interesting delivery from Houston Street. From the far first base side of the rubber for a right-hander. That's rare. So much different angle than some of the other right-handers these guys will see.
Street takes over. 25 years old, already 4 full years in the big leagues and 94 major league saves at 25. Look at that run. 0-1 the count.
Watch how far he goes to the first base side of the rubber. He'll go even further than this. Watch the right foot, how far it goes over.
Pitching just 21 games in the minor leagues. Keeps that ball hidden. 90, 91 miles an hour. The Rookie of the Year in 2005, Houston Street. There is a pretty nice resume for a guy just 25. Bouncing ball. Tulowitzki. Trouble for a moment getting it out of his glove, but quickly made up for it.
Left fielder Connor Jackson.
Huge performance yesterday. 9-8. They just outslugged the Rockies. Today, the Rockies have answered back and quieted those bats. And here's Connor. See if he can hit this closer.
Little hovercraft type slider.
You bet. Street's got a ring at the college level, University of Texas. His freshman team, as that one is a strike. 0-2.
Well, he has thrown nothing but perfect pitches here in this inning. That'll make Greg Swindell happy. That Texas Longhorn stuff.
College ERAs of .96, 1.33, and 1.58. And his 2009 big league ERA continues to stay at 0. He doesn't strike out very much.
Catcher Miguel Montero.
Hides it very well. Boy. He was dialed in out there on the mound tonight.
Not sidearm, but not far from it. Kind of a low three-quarters delivery. Just because he has a little bit of tilt on his arm, he gets just enough sink. Not a ton. Montero, a lightning bolt to right field. Yourself hoping for that with a big opportunity in this 6th, but at least he extends the ball game here in the 9th.
Third baseman,
Made a good sound, didn't it?
Here's Mark Reynolds. Mark tonight singled in the second inning, grounded back to the box, and struck out in the seventh. 3-0 the score. Fly ball struck right center field. A couple of Rockies get together. Dexter Fowler ends the ball game with the catch. All Colorado Rockies tonight. Ubaldo Jimenez hands it off to his bullpen. Corpus and Street take it to the house. Certainly wasting a fabulous outing.